Thanks a lot for coming here tonight. My name's Alfredo Chaparro, and I'm the director of the Midland College Cogdell Learning Center, the facility we're in. And I'm also in charge of the Mural Project. So I'll be your contact point for all the artists that are interested in this exciting project that we're doing here at the college. Make sure that I would want to make sure that everyone signs in, because that's going to be my method of contacting muralists with any updated information, if there is any. So please sign in. We will be filming this. We do plan on putting it on the website link that we have for this mural competition. There are some, I know of at least one or two artists that aren't able to make it tonight. So that's a good way for them to not miss out on the information. But then also, if you heard something, you're kind of, what did he say that night? You could always refer back to it if that might be helpful. We do have some handouts. I'd like to go over the handouts that you have in your packet. For individuals watching this on video, if you contact me via the contact information you'll see later in the video, I can attempt to email these to you. But in your packet, you should have, for the individuals who are here in the room, you should have 5 things, 5 handouts. You have a preview of all the slides, or the PowerPoint slides that I'll be having up here on the screen. We have pins over there. If anybody wants to take notes and you didn't bring a pen, we have pins right over there. This document is, when you hear me refer to the prospectus, it's kind of like a one-page summary of the project. Probably the most important document out of all of them is the application to become a finalist. We'll be talking about this a little bit tonight. It's a 2-pager, front and back. If you mess it up, it's available on the website link. If you mess it up on the first draft, it's a pretty easy form, but if you spill something on it, which I've been known to do, you can't get a clean copy on the website for this. We'll have that website here on the screen. I imagine instead of you having to drive up here to look at what's on the wall right now, I did my best faith effort to do a collage of my phone. I used my phone to take this, and I couldn't do a panoramic that I could save. But anyway, so it's a collage of 3 photos I took of the existing mural. That might be helpful. And then the one that's actually on the website, I just included that picture as well. There you kind of see the flooring and everything, right? You know what the work area is going to be looking like. And the last document we'll be going over, I like to call it a success story from a student here at the Cogdell Learning Center. And I thought I would share this tonight. I'll give some high points of it tonight to try to give you some ideas about the building. Ask questions whenever you wish. I don't think we'll be here very long. I would think this is going to be 30 minutes max. But ask away whenever you have a question. And I'll probably repeat the question to make sure that we try to catch it as much as we can on camera. Y'all can forget the camera's there, but I'll be trying to make sure that people that watch it on video are able to hear. Anything before we get started? Okay, there's the link. I assume somebody, raise your hands if you've seen this link already. Have any of you seen this link yet? It's just the mural website. Okay, so good, many of you have. That's the whole address. If you input mural competition, it's either the application that will come up or the mural website, but it's not just an application, it's a website. Not a lot of stuff of information, but some good information on the website. That's where the video will be posted on this website. Okay, so there is the wall. Many of you probably walked by it, and as y'all were coming in, it's the east side of the building. If you're watching this on video, of course, feel free to visit Midland or visit and look at the wall. Feel free to approach it, touch it, whatever you want to, and come on over and look at it. We do have a few rose bushes in the front, but they've been really cut down, and a lot of them have died off over the years. But that's something to consider, that as you'll work on that, there are a few rose bushes down here, something to consider. In addition, the height where the mural starts is 5 feet 2 inches, or right about where my lips start. That's pretty high, that's where it starts. And then it goes up to 10 feet and 10 inches at its highest point, or right below 11 feet. So just consider that. Ladders, scaffolding, well, I would think definitely a ladder would be applicable, and I would think a scaffolding might be an easier way, but that is something that should be considered. Yes,
I apologize. Did you mention how wide it is?
It is, by my measurements, it is 45.5 feet long. Or better yet, a gentleman who runs the buildings all on campus, he said it's 45.5 feet wide and 6.5 feet tall. I'm going to read something from a book here in a second that's going to be a little bit of a different measurement. But that's the gentleman who runs all the buildings. And so that comes out at about 315 square feet. But then there's a approximately a 3 by 10 window in the middle of it. So you can take about 30 feet off for that. So it's about 285 square feet. This is on the prospectus, one of the documents. But I do think it's important we cover that during this portion. The building's about to be painted, the whole exterior. My understanding is that it's going to the whole building will be sandblasted. I understand the mural that's right up there is going to be extra sandblasted because they put some type of protector on the mural about 25 years ago. I don't know if it's still there after 25 years in the sun, but they plan on doing some extra sandblasting on it. They're going to. I've heard that they're going to patch up like maybe some cracks, and then it'll be painted over. Is my understanding that it'll be the same color. It's my understanding it's going to be the same color as the rest of the building. We shall see. But I do believe it'll be painted over. That has to occur by August 31st. The painters of the building have been told it has to be done by August 31st. Y'all can't start until after August 31st. You'll see later on a timeline. The muralist who wins the competition will not be able to start until after August 31st. Any questions?
How much? I'm sorry. How much time before the mural has to be finished? Like,
you'll see it on a timeline that's coming up.
And you said they were going to be painting it, or are they going to be priming that side of the wall?
I don't know the details on that. My understanding is they were trying to prep it for, my biggest thing I understood is they're trying to prep the wall and all the cracks so that it's a good painting surface.
Okay.
I did speak to the individuals that no longer live here in town, but I found her on Facebook. She said it wasn't exactly a smooth wall. She was a Midland College student. One of the artists was. Or both of the artists were Midland College students at the time. And she just said it's not exactly the smoothest wall. But I assume if you're experienced in doing walls or whatever, you probably already know that some of the things you'll be. Any other questions?
Is it possible for them to not paint anything on top of that?
It is possible. I'm learning. I've never done a mural on the side of a building, so help me out. Would there be an advantage to not painting on top of the building?
Well, because if you apply, if they use a type of paint that's going to peel off or something, it might the paint that you apply might peel off of that.
Yeah, you're going to have to
but if you use a fiberglass stucco and make it nice and smooth.
Because Ken Riley's the guy who runs all the buildings, and he's been here, and when he's speaking to me, everything he's saying is trying to make sure we have a good wall to work on. So I'll speak to him again about that, just to make sure. I think he'll take care of us. He has a lot of experience on it. But I don't know if he has experience with murals going on the side of the buildings he's painting. So I will ask him to try to get some expertise on that, in case. So there's a chance, yes. Anything else? Yes, Ms. Thomas.
I would like to know what kind of theme you're looking for, because this looks like a cultural theme. You know, it has some, it's a cultural scene, and it
We'll be
has,
going, that's on a slide that's coming up, so
Okay.
we'll
All
get
right.
to that. And I would say that I wasn't around here, I've only been at the college 17 years, but I am very pleased with that mural. However, as of right now, I'm not a committee member. There's three, we'll be talking about this in a later slide, but I'm not on the committee that's going to select the mural. So who cares what I think? Okay, this is going to be like the Super Bowl. This is the way I wanted to approach this slide. This is, you know, the winner of the $5,000 award to paint the mural. I kind of think of that as a small little Super Bowl. Okay. So right now, we have a lot of artists in the room. And in my opinion, you shouldn't be trying to think about the Super Bowl right now. What you need to be thinking about right now is making the finals, or the playoffs. And the playoffs that we're going to be talking about is we are going to be looking for 4 finalists. I put the word finalist in blue because I want you to know what I'm talking about when I say finalist. We are looking for 4 finalists. How do you become a finalist? You complete an application to become a finalist. We'll be talking about that document here in a second. Each of the finalists, there's going to be 4 of them, they're the ones who are going to develop a design, a full-fledged design. This is it. This is the design that I propose go on the side of the building. Just for being a finalist, one of them gets the $5,000 award, and for the 3 second place, maybe we'll rank them 2nd, 3rd, 4th, because then maybe y'all are interested in resume builders for projects. I guess we will plan on doing that. You know, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, because I've learned a little bit, and this can be a resume builder that you became in 2nd place for this mural. We'll pay $300 for 3 of the finalists, just to develop the design. And that 4th gets the whole contract. Yes?
I have a question. If the artist that has the best design is not technically able to do that, I mean, if it is something that you like, but you like the qualifications and the ability and the professionalism of another artist, do they do that one, or do you?
That's going to be up to the committee.
Oh, okay.
I can't foretell what the committee will do. But of course, it'll be a combination of the artwork and the professionalism, like any project would. You can get, well, we can all think of scenarios where someone would be great on paper, but maybe not too hot on the actual work. And the opposite way too. That's going to be up to the committee.
The $5,000 contract, does that include a deposit?
And I'm sorry, the question before was, what's more, I'm trying to repeat it for the camera. What's more important, the artwork or the paperwork and the supporting documentation? I'm not on the committee, so I can't answer that. So, but both will be important.
My question is specifically, could you be one of the finalists but not be the painter? I mean, could your design be the one they choose, but you not be the painter?
No.
Someone else?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can your design? No. We would select the person who actually develops a design, paint it. We will not ask someone else to paint someone else's design. Very good. I'm glad. Whoa, that's a big question. Thank you. Never thought about that. Next.
I was just asking about the $5,000 contract. Will part of that be given to you at the beginning for materials and supplies?
Midland College will not allow that. So the best we can do is, when I have approval with Midland College, is once you have finished 25% of the mural, you can charge $1,250 for the total, for $1,250. Once you finish another 25%, you can get another $1,250. We'll only allow 3 invoices we'll need invoices. It's not just I finished, we need an invoice. You will be a vendor of the college, so we're following the same procedures. The procedures you will be following is the same procedures for the guys painting the exterior of the building, with some small exceptions we'll talk about. But anyway, so no advances for supplies, and I know that that's an issue. If that becomes, I don't want to lose anybody for that reason though. And if that person has an issue and they're the winner, I'm going to go down to accounting and figure something out. And the one thing that could be figured out is they said, if I understand that someone, I was speaking to Danny Heleva with the Arts Council of Midland, and he was telling me that perhaps we could, the painter could, he knows, well, I know of a muralist that had to go to Sherman-Williams to get some paints, and if that's where the location where the paints will be obtained, we can possibly set up some type of arrangement where the paints could be picked up there and Midland College could be paying for the supply. I'm not promising that, but something like that possibly could be arranged. Yes?
I was asking, so on the designs, can they
Let me repeat that question for the camera from the previous question. Will there be prepayments for supplies? No. We will only pay out, like I mentioned before, on invoices. There might be some way of fixing an arrangement, but that's not what the accounting department wants to do. Yes?
Okay, so for the mural design, would it matter if it's a digital design or does it have to be paper? Straight from picture. Okay.
I'm not on the committee, so I don't know what the committee will decide. I kind of feel like I want to see a painting, but I'm not familiar enough with the artist world, and if you give me a good digital design, I'm going, wow, it's awesome. But then I would say, can you actually paint it?
And the reason
and that's where I go to the, there'll be a
wait.
requirement for some examples of pictures of designs. That's kind of where we can figure that out.
Okay, yeah, because I'm asking it because I usually just do that for scaling purposes.
Okay. Oh, totally, totally. Understand the scale that the design we'll be getting has to be much smaller scale. Totally understand it. Yes, sir.
This is a little off subject, but kind of going back to what you were talking about before about the paint. I own a small shop in Lubbock, and I sell Cobra spray paint. So if somebody wins, you can just come to me. I'll give you a good.
Okay,
gift.
someone in the audience sells Cobra spray paint, and some people are, whoa, okay, so opportunity there. I'll move on, and I'm going to go to one of the forms, the application form. It's a 2-pager. I'm going to cover the content of this. So again, we're going to be talking about the finalist application. There's 6 parts to it. The next slide will also talk about the application, just some questions that we have to cover since whoever gets the mural will be a vendor of the college. Yes?
We were a few minutes late, we got lost.
Okay.
What do we need?
The packet information is right over behind the gentleman in the street. And my business card is there as well.
Thank you.
Someone just needed, for people on video, someone just needed a copy of the packet. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the 2, you do not have a highlighted copy. My copy is highlighted, but it's a 2-page form. And these are the 6 things that you will be required to submit in order to become a finalist. First one is an application. That's just this form. That'll take you 5 minutes, under 5 minutes to complete this. The second is a cover letter. You just tell us why you're interested in the project and what you're bringing to the project. It states on there what you're going to do. That doesn't have to be long. It can be short and sweet. The more professional it is, maybe the more interested the committee will be have interest in you. A resume. I'm going to read a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The resume is bringing your artistic qualifications. We're not talking about your resume to get the job at Best Buy. We're talking about your resume to get this mural project. I put on here, I kind of borrowed this from some other community, I think it was San Francisco. I found their perspectives and I borrowed, okay? And one of the things they put is this should include prior mural work. I know we have individuals in here without prior mural work. Hey, but this is going to be a fair competition. You have the chance to get in there. I would imagine that an experienced muralist will have a higher chance of getting in there since they're experienced. But just because you haven't done mural work in the past, that doesn't mean you can't get the job. It might be a tougher climb, but it is possible. Other things they put in there is you have education or training in the artistic world. You've had an exhibition in museum, art gallery, art spaces, public or private commissions. That sounded like, I imagine that some of you may have that, but not all. I understand that. The one that I really want to cover is one of the last sentences. Artists must have experience creating, painting, or reproducing large-scale mural work. We shall see what we get. I don't know how many of you in the room are experienced muralists. Someone who might be a very promising and has done some great stuff indoors or large-scale stuff, and other things, has the potential to get this job. So I wouldn't take that word must literally. I've mentioned before that the job is pretty high up. So some experience with scaffolding would be preferred. That will be definitely something we are looking at. For security reasons, we're a big institution. We don't want to have an artist get hurt. And then, but we're going to be talking about that too, because we'll see how we address that. But some experience there would be nice. Number 4.
The scaffolding we have to provide ourselves. Like
Yes.
rent
Yes. Out of the $5,000, all your supplies, everything has to come out of that. Some of you are from out of town. And I was very happy when I heard the out-of-town mural artist has a travel trailer when he does out-of-town projects. Because if you're trying to pay a hotel in the local environment, you're not going to make a profit. Well, you might make very little on this project, not worth your time possibly. Number 4, concept drawings and narrative. We're going to get a drawing and we're going to get a brief narrative. Just give us what you're thinking. Why did you do what you have in your design? This doesn't have to be long at all. Just tell us what you're trying to do. We also put in there steps you will take to prevent the fading of the work. I got the call from it was an Midland College art instructor that, I forgot to read something, but let me read that first. In May 1994, a large hand-painted mural on the east side wall of the south facility, Cogdell Learning Center, was dedicated. It was created by 2 MC art students, Tom Castro and Kim Munson. The design phase took about 3 months. Then the artist spent April 5th through the 21st 16 days, executing the acrylic paints. That's what it actually states. They've done it anyway. The mural is 7.5 feet. I told you 6.5 feet by 48 feet. I told you 45.5 feet. So there you have some differences. The mural, okay, and features representations of African American, Anglo, Asian, Hispanic, and Native American peoples, as well as a representative architecture from those cultures. The students were supervised by Warren Taylor, MC painting instructor. The theme of the mural came from Camille Deshan, Dean of the South Facility. Arts Assembly of Midland provided funds for supplies. That won't happen this time. Keep Midland Beautiful provided funding for coating, which designed to keep graffiti from adhering to the surface of the mural, and it also helps protect the images from fading. To my knowledge, we've never had any vandalism on the mural, but fading, I think it's kept up pretty well. What I was going to say before was I got a call from the art instructor who kind of supervised the students 25 years ago, about 10 years ago, and he thought it was time to paint it over or paint a new design. I never heard complaints from people in the community saying it was too faded, but the actual guy who kind of supervised the students, he thought. So we really would like some attention paid to prevention of fading. If you could help us out with that, I would appreciate it. Yes?
Can one artist submit more than one design? Can you submit more than one?
Yes, I can see no problem with that.
Going back to that,
The question was, can an artist submit more than one design? I'll repeat the question for the video. Yes, you can submit more than one design.
going back to the fading, I mean, the sun comes from, from the east to the west. And, this is the east wall,
This is
right?
the east.
Okay, so the sun's gonna, I'm sorry.
He's
I'm
Lubbock, so
Lubbock.
he's got a pass
So
on that.
it's opposite. It's gonna, over time, it's gonna fade. You know what I mean? That sun hits directly on top of it, and it's gonna
Just
eventually
help
fade
us
after a while.
address it in some way. It'll give you points, in my opinion, with the
Yeah.
committee. It'll give you points with me. Again, I'm not scoring, but I'll be telling the committee, I want this to be addressed.
Yeah, I apologize. Even with the
No,
clear's gonna end up cracking on top of it. It's gonna even make it look worse. It's gonna look more faded out. So that's not always a great solution, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So
Put that in your narrative, and then we can make a decision when we work with the final artist. Pictures of work samples. I don't want to get, there's a lot of people in here, I don't want to get 10 emails, and we know it's because of our the email system at the college, it'll probably take you 10 emails to send me 10 pictures. So I want y'all to put them on flash drives. If you can make, everyone who's an artist, you make sure to get one. Sorry for people on video, no flash drives for you. Unless you want to drive by, be happy to give you one.
Can you repeat that?
Yes.
What you just said, can you repeat that? You want the sketches to be on, photographs to be on a flash drive, is that right?
What I
Okay.
would like on the flash drives are pictures of work samples. So I'm going to go back to the application, and on the jump drive, I would like up to 10 pictures of work samples. I'd like you to there's some description there about how to name them. Try to follow those instructions, but the most important thing is I want 10 pictures of art you have done in the past. If you don't have 10, because you don't have that extensive of experience, then you can't. No problem. That doesn't mean that you're disqualified and you won't participate. It just means you didn't get all 10 pictures, and you didn't have 10 pictures. That means that you can still win the competition. Yes?
Those examples, do they have to be a mural, or does it have to
The
be?
examples do not have to be a mural. If you have mural experience, I would suggest murals. But if you don't have mural experience, give us the closest thing you got. Yes?
I'm currently on a mural and it's not finished yet. Would that be like
Yes. You can say it's not finished. It's better than no mural at all, in my opinion. The question was, an artist in the room has not finished a mural. Could that qualify if he took pictures of an unfinished mural? I say yes, especially if you don't have other mural experience. I would. The last thing you will need is references. I don't think this will be time consuming, but I want the name of the organization the individual is related to, if applicable. Some of y'all might have more family members or friends who are your references. Cool. That's what you got. That's what you got. You can still win. It still might be an upward climb, but and then we want the name of the contact person, their title, email address, phone number, and physical address. Whoever the finalists are, we're going to be, I do anticipate we will be contacting some of those references. That's quick and short, not too time consuming to provide us references. The reason we're doing this meeting is August 6th is when we want these applications, these 6 parts, by 5 p.m. to this building, and they'll be coming to me. I promise I will be in this building on that day at 5 o'clock. If you hand it in earlier, I'll probably be here as much as possible, but at 5 o'clock I'll be in this building and see where we are on applications coming in. And the whole building will know that these things are coming in and they need to get those to me. Okay, there are some vendor questions at the end of the application, and I want to go over those because I'm sure there's going to be questions on this section. But bear with me. Auto insurance. Every vendor who comes on campus has to have auto insurance. So if you were selected to be a finalist, I wouldn't be surprised if in order to get to the next level, maybe you won't be a finalist if you don't have car insurance. So that's when, I'm not going to collect proof of insurance now, it's too early. But for the finalist, oh yeah, you're not getting in line to be, if campus says you can't get the job because you don't have car insurance, then that's why I asked that question. Okay, just bear a second. $1 million in general liability insurance is what is required for the guy who's painting the outside of this building. Accounting said, and that's just required for any vendor that comes on campus. If you don't have $1 million general liability insurance, then be willing to sign a waiver. The saying, if you get hurt, or whatever, I don't know who, if you get hurt, you fall off the scaffolding, whatever, we're not responsible. Midland College is not responsible. I believe that's what the waiver form is for, or things like that. So you don't need to get the $1 million worth of insurance, but you do need to, if you don't have it, you do need to commit to signing that waiver form. Or else, no need to become a finalist if you're not willing to do that. Workers' compensation insurance, required if you're going to be hiring somebody. I don't want to see volunteers either. It's either if you hire somebody to help you out, workman's comp's required. That's a hell of a lot of paperwork and stuff. Does anybody in here have workman's comp on the employees? Muralists are kind of solo projects or solo guys, and a lot of artists are, so I assume that that's not really an issue. But letting you know up front. And this is a very easy one. You will be a vendor of the college, so and it's over, I believe it's above $600. If you make more than $600 in a year from Midland College, they send out a form that you submit with your taxes. And they send one copy of the form to the IRS. So to get this job, you'll need to sign the W-9, which is the process for setting that up.
You know what the percentage of that is, that 10% or 15%?
I do not know.
5,000.
I do not know. Well, this is not withholding. We're not going to take, I'll ask, we're not going to take money out. It just says we're going to inform the IRS that you receive those monies. And then you report that. If you don't report it, anyway, we won't go there. So.
You get a phone call.
So I'm going to write down,
And it's tax exempt because of the college.
you are vendors, so my assumption is you pay taxes because y'all are making income on this. So, yes, if we were to buy the paints, we get them tax-free. I don't know if y'all don't get them tax-free because y'all are, I assume, doing this for profit. Okay? Someone asked from the audience whether this would be tax-free monies. I stated, I do not believe that Midland College will take any money out from withholding because you're not an employee. You will get the total amount of the contract. I can't think of any deductions that would be possible. You would get the whole amount for the $5,000, and then you work that out when you submit your taxes. Midland College is a nonprofit institution. I assume y'all are doing this for profit and would report those on your taxes, but that's y'all's business, not mine. Timeline. Everyone in this room is interested in the first two. The only ones who will be interested in the next two bullets are going to be the finalists. And the only one who's interested in the last date is the winner. So let's talk about the first two because that's most applicable to y'all. 5 p.m. August 6th. That application and the 6 parts of the application and those 4 questions about insurance. August 22nd, the committee selects the 4 finalists based off the information y'all provided us. This is later on, but y'all need to kind of know when this project will be done, so I'll go ahead and share the next part. September 19th, so you'll have about almost 4 weeks. The finalists will have about 4 weeks to come up with their official design. And then on September 28th, we let them know, out of those 4, who gets it. Everyone's a winner, $300, but the winner gets the $5,000 contract. And in response to your question, February 28th, 2019 is when we're wanting the project done. Plenty of time. The reason we're trying to hurry up though is because we know that December, January, and February probably aren't good months to paint. We're trying to do this so you get a good month in October. I personally would love it to be a little bit later on, but the quality of the artwork is more important than me being pleased. The reason I've got this building is celebrating its 25th anniversary, and March-April timeframe is when we're planning on having some activities. So it'd be kind of nice if that happened, but the quality of the artwork is more important. But if you're interested, if you're so busy with other projects that you kind of say, hey, I've painted in the gold, we might have a few questions for you, and does that complicate things? If it's cold outside, I'm not an experienced artist, but we'll talk to the winner or to the finalist about that issue if they put that in their information. But anyway, any questions on the timeline? The mural theme is cultural diversity, which I think can kind of go with the one that's out there right now. The only thing we added is education. I wish I could say more, but I'm really going to leave it up to the artist. I will say one thing, because I thought about this before. I think the emphasis should be made on cultural diversity as opposed to education. I'm not an artist, but if I just kind of put it equal, I'm not as creative as y'all. The only thing I can think about education is EMC equals squared and books. And I'm going, oh, I don't want to get a bunch of designs where I get a bunch of books in some weird translations and then cultural. I would say try to make it more cultural diversity and a lesser degree. I think that would develop a better mural, I think, but I leave it up to y'all.
So on a question like that, would it be possible to get like a list of the actual things that y'all teach you?
We'll talk about that here in a second. Oh, I wanted to read something on the prospectus. The question that I got from the floor here a second ago was, can I get an overview of what is taught in the building? I'll cover that here in a second. On the prospectus, under mural theme, I'm just going to say a few more words. Be as inclusive of different races and ethnicities. So I'm talking about race and ethnicities when I'm talking about cultural diversity, okay, or diversity. Inspirational was a word that is in there. And appropriate for a higher education institution. The cool thing about the way we're doing with the muralist is if we want to change something up, the committee, myself, can communicate with the mural, and I would think the muralist would be agreeable to changing something if they're the winner. But early to talk about that, but just FYI. This is the committee members. I think they'll come through. When I see it, they're busy people, and but these are the individuals who will be on the committee. If one of them bouts off, can no longer be on it, I may be the replacement. I wouldn't be surprised about that. Any questions about the committee? Important things to think about. Scaffolding, fading. I didn't put it in, I put in a word in red, graffiti prevention. I don't think it's a big deal. To my knowledge, we've never had an issue. But if you want to put that in your narrative, cool. Don't forget about the insurance requirements, auto, general liability, workers' compensation. Artists will pay for all costs and invoice Midland College. Up to 3 invoices can be allowed. And I say you have to complete at least 25% before you invoice. How do I calculate 25%? I take the square footage and I go, if you finish 25% of the square footage, that's good enough for an invoice. Finish another 25%, in other words 50%, you can send us another invoice. But then no more invoices until you finish up. 3 invoices total. The final invoice has to be when it's all wrapped up. We're not cutting the final check until the project is done. And put pictures on the flash drive. You don't have to do it on that flash drive. I was just trying to be nice and provide you one flash drive free of cost. Feel free to do it on another flash drive. Any questions? Okay, these are the services that are provided in the building. We have English as a second language classes. We have about 400 students that take ESL classes. We have citizenship classes. We have services where students can get enrolled in college so they can apply to college. They can do financial aid and all the other services. We help, there's another department in the building that helps people increase their credit scores, buy a home, and start or expand a business. And then we also have the Bill Pace Cogdell Scholarship. Okay, the reason we are here in this building is because Mr. Bill Pace Cogdell donated the building. Eventually the college got it. Not only that, he gave a lot of money. We have had over 400 students receive his scholarship. Many of those students received the scholarship that pays for all books, fees, and tuition until you graduate from Midland College or UTPB. You can actually transfer to UTPB on this scholarship. So he has helped a lot of individuals. On top of giving this building to the college, he also gave a lot of money that sent hundreds of students to college. So I wanted to make sure you knew about Mr. Cogdell. Okay. In the interest of time, I'm going to go over a story very quickly. Again, I'm trying to give you the question before, what goes on in the building. They gave you a handout for Anthony Portillo. I just want to give you a little bit of input about him. His mom is a custodian at Fairmont Church of Christ, or a church, I don't know which specific. His dad is a nurse orderly, something like that, hurt his back. Not a high income in the family. It's a lot of kids. I think it's 9. If it's not 9, it's close to 9. Mom comes into this building a long time ago, I guess 5-6 years ago, and says, my son wants to go to college. All this is in Spanish, and I don't know how, I can't help him out. Various individuals, but especially one employee here at the Cogdell Learning Center, helps him out, tells him about the Bill Pace Cogdell Scholarship, connects him with some people. If you read this story, you will just see that he got helped by it. He got a math instructor that he really liked at the college. Told him he ought to consider engineering. He was kind of thinking, he was on the football team in high school, so school wasn't so. Anyway, he's now an engineer. He went from here to Texas Tech, and now leading a very successful career. The Cogdell Learning Center, among other instructors and departments of the college, had one part in making that happen, but he wasn't. He got started here. He actually was going to pay for financial aid. Some people pay for assistance to complete the federal application for federal aid. That's free. We provide that for doing the application is free. But anyway, he came here. His mother just said, "I think we can get that assistance over there." They did. So he's a success story for the college and the Cogdell Learning Center. There's this picture of Anthony Portillo I was just speaking about. Questions, if you have any more, and then as I wrap up, I'll just put my well, there's one more thing on top. Let me do the one more thing before we do the questions. The mural you see outside. The mural you see outside, this is a rendering. I thought this was always done before, and this is the design. Problem is, the book says that was painted in April, and then this says it was done in May. So it wasn't, I'm sure there was a design for the mural. But anyway, this is not one long piece of paper. They actually did, this is one piece of paper from here to here, another one, and then another one. It's watercolor. I'm thinking that something like that is what I'm expecting for the finalist to develop. Not the design with narrative for the application, but this would be, I'm thinking, but that's up to the artist. But I thought I would show that to y'all. Doesn't have to be that big, but scaling is an issue. If you give me if it's too small, how can we adequately judge it? In my opinion, but I'm not experienced on this, but I would think scaling will be an issue.
Do you know the dimensions of that one?
That scale is longer than the one out there. They had to have left some of that out, because it's longer. The
It's
scale
pretty
is-
close. I know the gentleman's on there and I know the bird's on there. They might have squeezed it in
They
some.
squeezed it in, but
Yeah.
it's all there.
It's longer.
The little detail they took out.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned that it's a little bit different on dimensions for people watching on camera. A lot of artists automatically know that they kind of squeezed it together for the real mural outside. Cool. It's still pretty much what's on the wall. So I thought I would show that for the people that are here. This will be over here on the table. There's my contact information for people watching the video. I'm best to contact via, or for people here, I'm best on email. Questions? Any others? I thank you for your time then. Y'all have a good one.